So hi, good afternoon, everybody. I like the 30-second countdown. I feel like it's appropriate. I don't like
the mini meditation too.
It is a little bit. It is.
Kind of zoned out.
For a second, yeah. So LinkedIn has this thing too, by the way. Oh, in case you're wondering, you've made it to the Cypher table. Hi. How you doing? It's the once a month thing. And today our special guest is Miss Tabatha. Oh, hello. With the Diana Initiative. Also very involved with B-Sides Orlando. Yes?
Yep. Board there. Yeah. Yep. Not bored with B-Sides Orlando. Board on the board for B-Sides Orlando.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hooray. And we're going to be talking a little bit about some marketing stuff, but mostly we're just going to do what we always do, which is chase squirrels and introduce you all to somebody fabulous. This is pretty much what happens. So if you're joining us for the first time, Alicia Park, hang on, somebody's coming in. Oh wait,
I think that's
add to the. Where'd she go? Her video is not live yet. Oh well, she'll filter in, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. Alicia Park with TechGirlz. Thank you for joining us. Summer Dann, the executive director for East Baton Rouge Parish Career Technical and Education Center. That's a mouthful. Good thing I'm good at it. And there she is, Alexis Robinson. Perfect timing.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good, girl. We're here. Alexis Robinson with Empow Her Cybersecurity. All of these awesome nonprofits and programs and outreach situations are designed to gather more Infosec people into the fold. Specifically, in the case of TechGirlz, middle school aged girls, and in the case of Alexis Robinson with Empow Her Cybersecurity, underrepresented minorities and women of color. So here we are. Yay. And we're going to have Tabatha tell us a little bit about the Diana Initiative or B-Sides Orlando, wherever you want to start. Good.
We'll start with Diana because our first round of CFP is closing this week. So if you want in and you want to be, if you've never submitted to speak at a conference before, it's a fantastic way to get your feet wet, because we actually will have mentors available for first-time speakers. And so if you're interested in helping out with that, we'd love to have you too. But yeah, Diana Initiative is currently virtual this year, and it's in July. In the past, it usually happens during the same time as Hacker Security Camp, DEF CON, or Hacker Summer Camp, with DEF CON and Black Hat and B-Sides Las Vegas, kind of runs in that same week. And it focuses on women, diversity, and inclusion and information security that embraces all genders, sexuality, and skill levels. So from beginners to, professional, doing this for 20 years, there's something there for everybody.
Yeah, very cool. And I learned about it because Ian Meyer, who is the president of the board for B-Sides Orlando, and I have been chatting back and forth for a while now. And he was like, you're really going to like this, because he knows about my involvement with Innocent Lives Foundation, which is an organization, a nonprofit as well, not necessarily designed to bring in more IT-minded type professionals or, mentor those personalities, but is actually an organization that's dedicated to unmasking child predators online. Basically, industry professionals donating and volunteering their time and expertise and working with collaboration with law enforcement at different levels to do that. So he knew where my passions lie and where my heart was, and then was like, if you're really, wanting to meet somebody very cool, here's Tabatha. I was like, perfect. Thank you. I would love to really meet somebody very cool. And he was very correct.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been with the organization with Diana. 2019 was my first year volunteering for them. And I like to run registration when we're doing in-person conferences, because you get to get so much face time so quickly. It's a great way to jumpstart your networking by working the reg table, because everybody's got to go past you. And so, yeah, I kind of got involved just casually, somebody I knew from Infosec Twitter had mentioned that they were looking for more people to help out. And so I was like, pick me, I'll do it. I love volunteering. So yeah, and then of course with the pandemic going on last year, it went to virtual, and the platform that they use is really cool. That's one of the things that I've really enjoyed seeing through the progression of all of these virtual conferences is that the technology has improved to kind of meet up to what we need for these things to be now. Like this industry wasn't huge. It always felt like before all of these webinars and things were kind of cobbled together, but it seems like the technology is now meeting us where our needs are. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So
what platform will you be using? Sorry.
I'm sorry, Hopin.
Oh yeah,
Hopin?
okay.
Yeah, Hopin. One thing that I really liked about it is that it has this networking feature. So at the end of the conference, you can like get put in this queue, and then it'll just randomly match you with somebody else. And you're talking for like 15 minutes. I know it's a little daunting at first. I was like, I don't know how to do this. But then it'll just drop you into a room where you can chat with somebody for 15 minutes. And if you both enjoy one another, it's kind of like speed dating, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
you can just share your contact information with the person after the fact, and it collects it all for you. So I thought that was a nice way to kind of simulate kind of the in-person network that you would tend to get at a conference that's missing from virtual experiences.
Oh no, that's perfect. That's actually one of the key reasons that I was like, I'm going to do a live stream. Because I was missing that in my life throughout the COVID thing, because I really had just started attending conferences and going to mix and mingle and have those like side conversations in the hallway while you're waiting for the next presenter and stuff. And I loved it so much. You know, I was like, oh, let's go grab coffee until the next talk that we're wanting to see comes on and everything. And then COVID, right? So that was gone. So then I started reaching out to people and just like, hey, let's have, I don't know, let's just be casual and have a virtual coffee, right? Like, because you know, my 9 to 5, the thing that pays to keep the lights on is that I work for SecureNation, which is a reseller / broker of cybersecurity products and services. And I don't have one thing to sell, so there's no reason for me to like feel that push of, you know, let me cold call, right? Like I don't have to do that. So I feel really bad for all my vendor partners that do. Sorry guys. Because that looks bad. I don't want to do that. But no, so we would have virtual coffees, and then all these great conversations came out of it, right? Like just amazing you know, backstories and origins, how I got here, and you know, back in Vietnam, that was actually the first one with Rich Owen that we did live. That was really cool. Very cool story. And it was a way for me to share those conversations out with everybody else. So thank you for hanging out and coming. But I love this Hopin. Look, I'm going to write this down. Hopin,
yeah. And I'm not sure of the pricing on it. But yeah, this looks like this time we're running all of the registration through it. For this conference, I won't be there the day of. Once we made the decision to go virtual, unfortunately, I had a previous obligation on those days, so I won't be in attendance this time. But I'm happy to do what I can ahead of time, and they know that, to help the conference go. But yeah, registration tickets are on sale if you go to dianainitiative.org, you can get to the CFP information if you're interested in sponsoring. And then if you're interested in signing up a mentor for any of those first round, first time speakers. And actually, I tend to rope people in from, you know, one organization to another. So I did get Ian to come over from B-Sides Orlando, and he'll be helping with the mentorship program over there at Diana. So
that's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it then, because how many have you all gone to any of these virtual conferences yet? Alicia, Summer, Alexis?
Yeah.
Okay. So other than showing up for the talk, right? What did you think about the rest of that virtual experience? Was there any engagement with like other attendees?
No, there's not a lot of engagement. You can put stuff into chats, but it's kind of awkward because you don't know. Sometimes, most of the ones I've seen, it just goes to like panelists. You can't interact with anybody else in the audience, so that's kind of. Yeah.
It is definitely very much like presenting to the black void of
Mm-hmm.
talking. We talked about that like last month, or you're just like, I am speaking, no feedback. Here you go. Here's what's going on.
Please listen to me.
I hope I'm engaging. I hope this works. And the chats do help. They do help. I do like make sure that they're up, but then it's still ending up multitasking a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been on conferences that I've used like Hopin, or like our Women in Tech Summit uses Whova, which is another platform.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's Who, like WHO. Whova. They're both really good because Whova, you could utilize the chat throughout, Q&A throughout, so you can, either announce in the beginning, like add questions throughout and I'll answer them at the end, or kind of, do it that way and organize it. But I do like Hopin. I have used it. It wasn't 15-minute like speed networking. It was like 1 or 2 minutes, which goes so quick, but it was actually pretty cool. I liked it because I felt like it was less pressure. But it was funny. It depends like how many people click to participate in that. I ended up being connected with like the same person for like 4 times. So we got to talk for 4 minutes instead of 1. It was hilarious. We were laughing about it, but I like those in the virtual platforms.
Yeah, it does make it feels more conferencey that way.
Yeah.
We've done a few. A lot of them I've seen have been where they've got an associated Discord that you have to go to, like a Discord channel, and you have a persistent chat going on there too. But it's distracting to like have to pay attention in multiple spots, and you're trying to pay attention to how you're presenting, but also keeping an eye over here. It gets challenging. When this week we were at GrimCon and we were hosting the new speakers track, and you would have never known. Like I said that throughout the day, I was like, if you hadn't told me that these speakers were new and this was their first time presenting, I would have had no idea, because they were just that professionally done, that well done. But I was even more impressed with the fact that they were able to pull it off as first time speakers without having that energy feedback that you get from a live audience.
That's cool. Yeah. I've seen one speaker too, and I thought this was cool. If the conference, the virtual conference link that's being used, if it allows it, I saw one speaker at one point before the talk, like she wrote it in like the comment section and then announced it before she started for everyone, if they were able to turn their camera on. So although she may not have been able to interact with them, to be able to see their faces, I think helped her. That's what she wanted to see in the talk, those reactions live. So I thought that was a cool way to go about it too. Like, feel free to turn your camera on, or please turn your camera on so I don't feel alone, is nice to put out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely very nice. I have to tell you, after our last month's table with Alyssa Miller and talking about, all the things that go with virtual presenting. So I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I signed up for a study group for Security Plus certification called Hacker in Heels, which I was like sold on the name already. I was like, I don't even care. I'm just going. And I signed up to do extra presentations on the chapters that we were covering, just to like force myself to practice. So that's my I'm working on myself, you guys.
Nice.
That's nice.
Since the last time we did it, yeah. And
I'm actually
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I'm actually learning marketing, which is why I really wanted to hear Tabatha.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Who has not mentioned marketing at all.
Yes, but I'm throwing it out there because I need help. I'm like in charge of social media, and I'm in charge of like stuff that never mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
No. You're fine.
It gets rough. It gets rough.
We may have those questions too.
So Tabatha,
who came up with Hacker in Heels? That's like such a catchy little I need something like that. Like
Right?
hacker,
Exactly.
that's like awesome. Who comes?
So
That's
Tabatha,
awesome.
what has been your experience in marketing and IT or self promotion or any of those things? Because I'm going to chime in with you because this is something that whenever I started working with SecureNation, I had no idea. And I've learned so many things that now to me seem just very normal. To other people are like apparently enlightening. So it could, to you, it could seem very normal or like not that big of a nugget of information. And then you'll notice I'll probably be, furiously writing things down. So
Ditto. Here I go.
Well,
Got my pen.
the company I work for is the makers of the Dreidis framework. So it's fun to work on a product where I get to see how the sausage is made, so to speak, in software. But particularly in this industry, it's because the product itself has got a long history as an open source product. It's got good name recognition. So regarding marketing in Infosec specifically, one of the things that just kind of had this talked this morning with the founder, Daniel, about clicks and tracking and analytics. And that's really difficult to track and have metrics when all of your customers don't want to be tracked and they value privacy highly. So having quantitative information to be able to look at, say, this is working, this effort is working, it becomes a big challenge. So yeah, that's probably my biggest takeaway from Infosec marketing is it's hard to track people because they don't want to be tracked here.
right.
And really it's more about building community, I'm finding, than anything else. Building kind of a community for your users to be able to work with one another, because even though technically our customers are, competitors in many cases, there's still a lot of work that they do that's very similar, and they can learn from one another. So trying to build a space where they can share information to build everybody's business,
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, a lot of the things that I did at first, right? Because when I asked at day one with SecureNation, I had never done I'd done face-to-face. Hi, nice to meet you. This is what I do. This is what I can help you with, right? I was like a chemical consultant type level for restaurants and hotels. Summer or even Jade Kids.
I did.
I did, yeah. They're fancy.
They're hanging in the lab. Fancy.
Yeah, because safety first.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did at first. So John sat me down, my CEO, sorry, John Davis sat me down, and he was like, I want you to reach out to these people and set up, introductions and just, to chat for the first time. And I had no idea how I was going to do that. So, and I told him, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. And he was like, well, try LinkedIn. Some people do that. So I had made a LinkedIn account, and like a lot of people, I used it. So I'm using Otter, a cool free transcript tool, audio, text, also getting video. Oh, okay, cool. Ryan has good tips, or Ray has good tips. My mistake. So I had no idea. So LinkedIn, I had like 11 connections when I started. Okay, and I think I had a profile picture, maybe, I'm not really sure. And like something about what I currently did and all this stuff. I have no idea what I was doing. So some platforms like LinkedIn and YouTube does this really well too. They have like instructional sections because they want you to understand how to use their platform.
For sure.
Okay. They don't want you to wander around in the dark, haphazardly bumping into things. They want you to use it and stay on it, right? Because all of these things are paid for by people who take out ads. And the longer you're on a platform, the more revenue. Yeah. So we all know how that works. Farmed. Okay. So I started there with the tutorials, and then went and found a bunch of other tutorials places. And then one thing that was really interesting was I got to have conversations with people who later became very much so mentors in the cybersecurity space for me, just by asking them what I thought were stupid questions, and they probably did too, but they were really nice about answering them. But that was how I started the conversations, right? It wasn't, let me introduce you to my CEO, try, and that did not work. Okay. I don't know why, but cybersecurity people are just distrusting. Who would have thought?
Right.
So instead I went with, I'm new, right? I was just honest about it. I was like, I'm new. I don't really know what I'm doing. Can we chat sometime? Just anything. I don't even care. Whatever it is you want to talk about. And that, wow, go figure, being a real human and genuine works really well. Weird. So I started, having this theory about, if that's not how you would randomly talk to a stranger you'd meet on the street, you probably shouldn't be doing it on social media. Right?
Yeah.
Crazy would it be if you walked up to somebody on the street and had a pre-recorded 4-paragraph long life history and just shouted it at them?
I've seen it.
Weird.
I've seen it kind of that whole relationship building. It's the same thing as you wouldn't just go up and or it's equated to the dating. You wouldn't just go up on the first date and be like, want to get married? Let's go. You've got to warm it up a little bit more.
No, I want to say there's a saying that I have sometimes with my mom. I'm stealing it from my mom, where she's like, I see people saying things online that they won't say to me in these streets, and I'm just like, what does that even mean?
That's awesome.
Who's seeing anyone on the streets anymore? But that's I definitely resonate.
It's so true, though.
Yeah, it resonates.
On the streets anymore, but it definitely resonates because I definitely remember. Well, one, I love the starting off LinkedIn story, because when I definitely started off, I had like my in the club picture profile.
Yes.
Picture. It's like a little dark in the back, but I wore my nicest dress. So this was like the only good picture I had that wasn't just like,
right?
Something like that. So finally I got like headshots at my company at the time, because they were offering it. And I was like, oh yes, free? Okay, yes. And that's like the headshot I have for everything. but the marketing side of all this is definitely like an art on its own, but it's not as hard as I think it was before. Because you're right, everyone.
Sorry.
No, Ben, that does not work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's and it's that's so funny. It is like that though. And I mean, anytime any bit of marketing that I've done is you kind of have to know where your viewer, your user is in that customer journey. Like, do they even know who you are? Like, why should I care? And so making the content and the order of kind of the dates go so that you're, kind of warming up and getting to know each other. This is who I am. And as the relationship progresses, then you can kind of figure out what information they're there for. What do they need to make the decision to either use your product or service or not? Because that to me is you also have to get to a no at some point. Not everybody's going to need your tool, right? That's just the fact of the matter. Or it's not the right fit for somebody. So helping them figure that out earlier serves everybody.
Yeah, it really does.
Ooh,
it does.
I had a question.
It keeps them from feeling up their waist. Go ahead, Alexis.
What are some like lessons learned for you? I know, like, honestly, for everyone here too, like, yes, there is the ease of all these different tools and all these different like forums and platforms to like make it honestly like dummy proof in a sense, like LinkedIn profile, like, hey, it tells you like, here's what you need to make your all-star profile, and you can go and do those things. But have you clicked a button or done something in the marketing aspect where it's like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that, I should have read the fine print, or something like that like people like me, where I'm just thinking of, I'm new to all of this marketing aspect of it, and it's a lesson learned I should carry forward?
I think really just limiting where your online presences are until you get a handle on them is probably the best thing you could do when you're starting out. And to figure out, because there's a different voice on Twitter than there is on LinkedIn, and there's a different voice on YouTube, you know, so knowing what the voice is for the users in that space too is good to keep in mind as you're putting your content out there, whether it's for you personally as your personal brand or for the organizations that you're with.
Vicky makes an excellent point. So, right now, it's on 5 different platforms. It is on Twitch, it is on LinkedIn Live, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, where does everybody go? 1, LinkedIn Live. LinkedIn Live has got the most viewer count right now. Twitch has like 2 people. Like it's kind of spread out a little bit. But Tabatha makes different platforms require a different piece of your personality to come out, and you kind of have to lay and wait to see what your community that you're hoping to engage with, you know, what the overall tone for them, and you kind of, you know, you want to match pace, right? Because you don't want to be this weird thing. So like LinkedIn is super professional, and you try not to curse too much. And, you know, it's like going to hang out at your significant other's parents. Okay? That's the level.
I like it.
Keep going.
You want to make sure.
That's gold.
You want to. I'm just saying. You want to make sure that you're not.
At least while you're dating. Once you're married,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Then it's fine.
Then
Then you
it's
Facebook.
can
answer the door in your
Or-
rollers and your
yeah.
fine. Yeah. Totally fine. You can have spinach hanging out your teeth. Nobody cares. But before
There's the
then, you want to make
TikTok.
sure. You want to make sure that your teeth are clean. But it's like that though. It's you know, you want to make sure that the things that you say are that if you're in a position where you're trying to sell something, right? Because I have a ton of vendor partners. I may not necessarily be trying to sell one thing, but they sure are. Maybe not put all your political, religious beliefs out there, because you're going to alienate a big chunk of who to sell stuff to. That's not the place to do that kind of thing. And then you jump over to Twitter, and at least for the information security side of things, and I'm not that deep into Twitter. Okay, I think I have 2 followers.
I'm one of them.
And I follow people like Tim. But on the Twitter side of things, so that I usually end up sharing content that I would not put anywhere else. Like, it's like
I have
come
a
hang out.
again. I'm a bail for 1 second.
Okay. I mean, I post a lot of like memes on that side of the fence. I make snarky like, if you want to know what it's like to hang out in my living room, go to Twitter. That's what it's like.
That's like, yes.
Like, I'll just
That's
live
why,
on this
no
thing.
offense, I avoid Twitter in a weird way, because I'm like, this is already unfiltered. I don't know. Me being fully like going hog wild on Twitter is gonna look like. It's just, yeah, and it's just like it's immediately done. It's too quick. There's not like for me there's not like a step or anything. At least in a LinkedIn post, you got to think about it. 2 minutes. And it really is the same button. There's no actual like filter there. But for some reason, for LinkedIn, it's automatically a filter that I apply to like make sure I'm saying the right thing. And Twitter, I'm just like, ooh, we're wild now, like Nick Cannon over here. We are wilding out. I don't know what's going on.
Nice.
Over here, and I feel like it's just ready for baiting me. I just feel like every time I'm on, I'm like, oh, y'all just trying to get me caught up. Y'all trying to make me lose my job. No.
And everybody knows the internet is forever, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there.
So yeah.
Somebody, if you try to take it down, somebody screenshotted that. They're holding on to it for later.
There's a lot of. I tell the kids that all the time. I'm like, the internet is forever. Present yourself.
It is
online,
definitely.
like the kid your grandma thinks you are. All right. be that guy online.
Yeah. Like you're going to hang out at your significant other's parents' house. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really glad that none of this was available when I was in middle and high school. Just putting that out there, man.
Oh,
snap!
This is talking about middle
all
school
the
again.
kids.
Yeah, I can't imagine growing up now in the time of social media. Like the mistakes that you make, in a public space, you're immediately online. It's crazy.
Mhm.
The other thing is my mom scared the mess out of me. She I think college is when they introduced Facebook. It's the University of Maryland. It was like, hey, we did a deal with this thing called Facebook, and it wasn't open to everyone yet. And that was my first foray. And my mom, I told her, yeah, there's this thing called Facebook. And it told us to get online, and we had to make a profile and account for all the college students. She's like, I'm just letting you know right now, I got a clearance and you are not jeopardizing it. I was like, I will disown you so fast if you do anything that messes up this clearance and this money. And I'm like, that
It's fair.
it's helpful to have a parent with a clearance, because they will already school you no matter what. Don't do nothing to embarrass me. You do that, money's out of your pocket and mine, and that is a no-no. You're out this house. So that's how I look at social media now. I'm like, okay, even though I'm not in my mom's house anymore. Like 15
kind of are.
But
Yeah.
will I embarrass her?
And you have
Yes.
Oh, I caught some lag. I'm so sorry. I don't remember if I spoke over you.
Okay.
So even from the first step, social media, right? Who made a MySpace page because you were excited about HTML and putting your own song on? This girl.
Oh, for sure.
Y'all,
I'm not saying anything. I'll show my age.
Live journal? No one?
Live journal.
Napster, anybody?
Napster. Okay. Yeah.
Look,
You know,
you could get music all over the place.
I mean, making pirates of us all before we even knew it. Arr.
Right.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much.
Come on.
Oh.
Man, I had every album on. Never mind. I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's so many platforms that across the year, there's so many different social media platforms and so many different ways to present your persona online, and even thinking about that from a development perspective as a young person, having that opportunity back in the wild west of the internet, it was less. You could be somebody different online. You could be a dog online. Now you can't do that anymore. So you've got a LimeWire. So you can't as easily try on these different ideas and these different identities of who you might want to be as you grow up. In the same way that my generation, I'm old. So I kind of grew up in that last bit of time between there wasn't the internet. I can remember life before the internet, and then getting online as a teen and being able to be somebody different online and just try on these different things. And that doesn't truly exist anymore. That's a shame.
It is a shame because you know what? I'm secretly very glad that it's not plastered on the internet somewhere, but there was a goth phase. And I watched my little nieces and nephews go through some awkward stuff, and it's on Instagram. And I'm like, guys, you are not always going to feel this way. And I love that you're exploring and, experimenting with different whatever. But maybe not post it everywhere.
I'm sorry, but it's funny for me. I love it when my cousins post on IG. It's like, they didn't have the Slurpee flavor I wanted. Life is a dark tube. I'm like, I am just like, I love this evidence. Okay, so yes, you're right. You're right, Rachel. For the general population and the good of the world, understand that life goes on and gets better. For me And my cackles, it's hilarious. I'm sorry. Literally, it's like, I can't get the bag I wanted. I'm like, oh, why are you posting all of this? And I am here for every last nugget of it. I like this. I just like to see the documented back and forth mood swings of teenagers in this way. It's
Are you raising the teenager right now? Because it's really not that fun.
Dreading it. I am dreading it. So he's 2.5, and I want to I want to figure out a time capsule at like 5 that can just keep him in to just never go through angst.
Yeah.
Oh, the angst. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah. It feels like 7, they get melancholy. It's like, that's when that happens. It's like 7-year-olds have figured out that life's not always cool, and it can be a bummer sometime. And yeah, just kind of, they realize that life is real, and you can have problems.
Yeah. I gotta do it because of the volunteer stuff with ILF, but I gotta plug this real quick while we're on it. Okay. Somebody that happens to be raising a kid that has a device and social media and everything else, if you think that you're that parent that has it on lock, let me explain something to you about cloud storage and the fact that they don't have to necessarily have that app on their phone all the time to be using it. They can download it and then add it, just to make you aware. And on top of that, they also have accounts that they hide from you so that you can't actually see them, okay? Because they do want to talk about how they couldn't get that bag and not have you come tell them how first world problem their life is, right? Like, once you judging them, so they go off into some other, or whatever. And real quick, okay? Because
if you need a mobile device, like pen tested, give it to a teenager that wants to unlock their phone, because our kid has bypassed every. Now, my husband and I are both in security, so and my husband's far more technical than I am, but we're no dummies. Like we know some stuff, but no, this child has figured out a way around everything.
Yeah, there's workarounds.
Yeah,
there's workarounds.
Yeah,
something that Chris Roberts
and I'm like
says quite often. If anybody follows Chris Roberts, would you give a child a loaded gun when you give them a device? It's absolutely a very dangerous thing to give your children devices.
Even if it was just a flip phone, can you just give them like a
flip phone?
Keep it there.
As a parent.
Like just a basic.
Yep.
You can call 5 numbers.
Give them
you can try that.
Yeah.
But and that's a slippery slope, because as soon as that kid gets a taste of that technology in their hands, they know you can't undo that. You can't take them off of it. Now they know, they've experienced it. They're getting that dopamine hit from posting on Instagram and seeing those likes come in.
So true.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And I mean, there's a reason why they call us all users. It's a drug.
For sure.
Rachel, mind blown. I can't.
Yeah.
I am not the originator of this idea. I've seen this everywhere.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that either. But it totally makes sense.
There are only think about it. There are only 2 places that you ever call or whenever you are selling devices and technology. They're users. No? Okay.
I got it.
I would just look. Alexis just mind blown.
It's a whole new meeting to marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, this did not go the right direction, folks.
We gave you
what have I done here?
Ample warning before you joined us.
Yep.
That we had tangents.
Yeah.
That you did.
We should,
I'm sorry.
We should rename this from the cipher table to the squirrel chase, because
Ship it.
we
I'm
could
in.
still include the word her in it too, because it'd be like squirrel, like squirrel. It worked. We can make this work. It'll be all right. Back onto the marketing. Following. That was not awkward at all. That was perfect. Right on time. Another thing that's really good about any kind of marketing or self-promotion that you might want to do as you're exploring different platforms. One, start with the platform that you're the most comfortable. That's a good place to start.
Yeah. The other thing too is think about who your users. Oh, I'm sorry. I think they've got some lag going on. So
Yeah.
I think I might be talking over somebody there. Just think about like what kind of audience are you looking for? So if you're like, YouTube is great. Like, this is something that I didn't know, and I don't know what the numbers are on it anymore. But YouTube is like the world's second largest search engine. And when you think of YouTube that way, it totally changes the way that you put content on there. So if that's something that you're answering kind of an informational query on YouTube, that's a good spot for it. And if that's where your users are likely to go, then match the content to the platform too, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is, definitely. And I learned some things, by the way, through their little studio trainings and stuff. Have any of y'all done YouTube stuff? Tried to? I'm trying to give y'all some more room to talk. I feel like I'm talking over everything. But on
we've got a whole YouTube channel for Dredas. I think
person to go check out how they're doing it. Go find somebody that has way more views than me. Okay. But I do have to say that there was a noticeable uptick in traffic across my page once I learned how to appropriately hashtag the videos in the editing section of YouTube. That worked out really well. So like on the coffee table talks, you will hear me say circle up and grab a cup at least twice. And there's a reason for that. And it's because there's a hash in there as well. With the dialogue, YouTube pulls it out, makes sure that it's associated, and then we'll keep, they'll show your video more often or whatever. It's according to the algorithm. But anyway, so then there's a different algorithm on for each platform too. Like on Twitter, I think it's every 4 hours. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like every 4 hours, posting every 4 hours will up your views or whatever.
Every 4 hours.
Yeah, no, there are people that have set alarms. Okay?
You don't get time for that.
There is a fantastic tool. There's a fantastic tool called Meet Edgar that you can load all of your content in. We use this at Diana Initiative. Look at me.
Sweet.
Plugging stuff.
Meet Edgar. Yeah.
Meet Edgar, and you can load up a whole library of content in there, and then you schedule it all out, and you touch it once a week, once a month, and just across different platforms. You can use it for LinkedIn, you can use it for Twitter, Facebook. Not sure if that does Instagram. Instagram's weird, and like you've got to
photos and all, right?
Yeah, you've got to go back in and repost it. They don't allow, for some reason, their API, they don't allow you to push directly there. It's weird. Yeah, automated tools definitely help them. So finding one that you like, and that does the platforms that you're interested in using, they will also have a lot of great content available for you to learn how to do social media marketing by using them. Their resources section and stuff. So I've gotten a lot of good tips from that. I mean, it makes sense. They're there to help you be as awesome as you can while using their product.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to bring up that we use something similar, Buffer. And that's what TechGirlz has been using, and it's great because we can set posts. Team members can also go in, like I'll drop in, since I manage our blog as well. Anytime there's a new post live, I'll add it into Buffer, and then someone else on the marketing team will add it into the queue for, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of that, and then it just is scheduled and goes out. I'm going to challenge myself to start using it for my personal account too, because it helps, because it's not often that I always remember to reshare or, whatever that TechGirlz is posting, and I want to get better on putting that on my personal. So you could have a personal buffer account too, load all those accounts in, be able to, schedule everything out. And I know it'll make life easier when I start to do that.
Yeah, all of these things have a little bit of learning curve to them, but once you get them set up and working for you, they're fantastic. Saves so much time.
Yeah. And if one platform doesn't work, or you don't like it, or you seem like, oh, I don't like, try them all out, because they're all a little different. I started off with Hootsuite.
That's what I started. Tried doing Hootsuite.
Because it was free. One, that was big selling. Two, somebody else recommended it to me. I don't even remember who it was, but somebody else did. They were like, "Are you doing all of this posting just on each platform?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I was going through each one. Like, there was no scheduled anything. It was just, oh, is it time? It's time. Because on LinkedIn, it's different days of the week have different traffic, right? Heights and peaks and valleys, and you want to hit it when the traffic is high at those times, so that you get more visibility into the feeds. And then Twitter is like the every whatever. It's so many times a day. Like, they really want you to be addicted. And then and there's other things, other tips and tricks that you can use too. Like, if you're posting an image, you adding the alternate text is helpful. And then also make sure that you mention some of those keywords or things in the actual text of your post on top of it, and then appropriate hash values right with it too. And the amount of engagement that you get in the first hour or two is pretty crucial. If your post doesn't hit a lot of engagement, it kind of gets buried. So it's like, go call some friends, message them, be like, can you share this or like this or comment or whatever, or do something, or just, sit on it and look at it for I don't care.
To be honest, is it like competing for attention in order?
Yeah.
I guess, how do you reckon it from people actually looking at it and engaging and taking something from it and wanting to follow you more versus just the habit of looking at your stuff?
How do you differentiate between the two? Is that what you're asking? Like, if they're just happen to be looking at your stuff, or if they're actually getting any kind of value from it? Well, see, that's where you actually, there's a lot of engagement that goes on with that, because it's not just how much you post. It's also how much you engage with the communities, with everyone else's posts as well, especially on anything that has the comments. You can do comments under posts. Go find the people that already are using the hash values or the type of content that you also want to put out, but with your own flavor, and engage in their comment section. And I mean more than an emoji, right? Like, you actually have to engage in their comment section. Like, bring up some insight. LinkedIn is really good for this. I really like the amount of community engagement that you can get on LinkedIn, because a lot of people know that engagement is so important to also having their own stuff be very visible. So I've seen a lot of frustrated people come to me and say, my post only ever get 2 people that comment or like on it or whatever. And I'm aggravated. And I'm like, well, how much are you engaging with everyone else?
That is true.
That's true.
One thing that's kind of popped up for me as we're talking about this is social media marketing and social media, building your brand there is great now, but you don't own that. That's not, you can't really take that with you. So if you're looking to start build your own personal brand up, creating a blog or, using your GitHub account to create just a quick and easy web page, there, and then linking to that from all of your posts as you're creating content and sharing it there. You own that content, and you can drive people back to your platform, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like my utopian idea, if I had the marketing bandwidth to market like this live stream situation, and it was like a sponsored thing, or sponsors expected a certain amount of engagement or viewers or whatever, which nobody does. Just welcome. You're just we're not sponsored. I don't do that because I probably wouldn't be allowed to talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. But you know that, right, Alexis? Thank you. That's how that works. It would be that we would do the live stream, and then there would be like a blog write-up, which I try to do for the Cipher Table pretty regularly because it's once a month. Like, really, I can squeeze that in somewhere, and I do normally. Plus, I like that you guys offer up so many helpful links and then links back to the organizations and stuff like that, which is really cool. So it would be a blog post, and then there would, for like the next month until the next table like promotion should start, I would take different quotes and snippets and like edit out video clips to share in different places. Like, you can take that one piece of content, like this 1 hour that we are all gathered here, and turn it into like 100 other social media engagement content type things that are original, inspiring, whatever, for people to follow you. So you don't have to, the content generation isn't the hard part, especially if you like to just jabber on like I do. Okay. I talk a lot. But what is the legwork behind it, right? Is the promotion behind it. That's the part. And there's no easy way. There's no, I mean, yeah, things like Hootsuite and some of the other ones that you can schedule your content out are very helpful, definitely. But you still have to, like brand and finesse the content piece that you did, and then, try to engage different personalities by marketing it, I guess, in a different way, or, whatever.
Kind of like what Tabatha said, in those, like in Buffer that we use, you can add, whatever you want to post, and then click what social media outlets you want to post it on. And then you can, for each individual social media outlet, you could tweak your post, because depending on what you're posting on, like Tabatha said, you're thinking about the different audience you're trying to engage with. So the wording for your post on LinkedIn is going to be a little different than Twitter, and Twitter has smaller character usage. So you have to keep that in mind. So that's definitely something we have to think about, because with TechGirlz and what we do on LinkedIn, we're really posting there to connect with volunteers or sponsors or partners. But on Facebook, we're really gearing our information to parents, because that's what they use. On Instagram, it's kind of a mix of everyone, and maybe the students, because they'll use Instagram more than Facebook and LinkedIn. So it's,
Yeah,
Exactly.
Facebook is for the old people. It's not for,
right?
not for kids.
No, unfortunately.
If you guys are targeting youthful audiences, they're not on Facebook anymore. Okay, just so you know.
Nope.
They may have a Facebook presence because their grandmother asked them to get on there, but that's about it.
Boom.
That's
Exactly that. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I'm still on Facebook is for older relatives anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Facebook went down the drain when Nana joined. Okay.
Yeah.
When Nana figured out how to do Facebook.
When my mom came on and was like, "Oh, hashtag YOLO," I'm like, "Oh, well, it's time to leave. It's time to leave." There's no YOLO for you. You are married. No YOLO for you. Stop it.
Your mom came up 3 times. I feel like she needs to join us on the next table talk, because she sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I want to spin a skiff at this time. I've already
one of the hash values in the back end of YouTube, you guys, is going to be hashtag Alexis's mom.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh,
So one of the reasons. Go ahead.
I actually found an article back at MIT and I want to post it in here. I love it. There's a picture of her painting in the MIT lounge, and I'm just like, yes, I found it. I found a picture of you. Right. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put fourth time mention my mom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you should. You should definitely do that.
Just keep a counter.
I mean,
how many times Alexis's mom's been mentioned.
I'm a little late.
For anyone that doesn't know, Alexis's mom is one of those pioneering women in tech. Just so you know, she comes from Alexis comes from good stock. Okay, like
well,
my mom
got
was
a clearance, so you know she's got to be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was a nurse and my dad was a butcher. Okay, this is what you get.
No, wait. Let's talk about that. Wait, butcher? Does he get like good? I really want to know more about this though.
Yeah, my dad worked in grocery stores for like 45 years.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Coming to your house.
Yeah.
Some steaks.
I do know a good cut of meat when I see one.
Exactly.
Yes, she
Like, right
does.
now.
Oh, that's how that goes. So one of the reasons I wanted to have this talk today was just because there were so many folks that I have gotten kind of randomly, you know, just whenever on whatever platform that are like, how do you do this and views and stuff? And no one ever seems to see. I feel like I'm shouting into the void and nobody ever sees it. And I was like, you know, I'm not really an expert at that, but I did start at really a low level. And I feel like maybe I'm here, right? Like I'm not here, but I'm like, I'm here. Kind of thing. Like I got this far and it was real hard to get there. So let me just help you skip over some hurdles real quick and we'll talk about it. So that's why we're here. And with I mean, COVID, I feel like with the vaccination distribution and stuff, we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel and everybody's really excited, right? They're like, oh, we're going to go back out and engage again. You guys, there is so much of the world that is now virtual and digital and engaging on social media that they're not going to give that up because they figured out how much gas they're saving. Okay.
Yeah.
There's going to be a huge amount of the community that is still living on these platforms. And it's not just for the sales folks, right? It's also for the HR people that are looking for help, or it's for you know, just community engagement or idea sharing and swapping and collaboration and virtual conferences that before weren't virtual that you couldn't attend because of location or you just didn't have the money to jump on an airplane, but now you can get a ticket like the Diana Initiative. How much is a ticket for the Diana Initiative?
We've got a free ticket. But we've also got a $5 donation ticket, which covers the cost of kind of running the event if you just want to donate as a human. And then we'll have so I mean, it's the cost to entry for these things is very low for attending any of these online conferences. And it does, like what you're saying, it does open up these conferences to a much wider range of folks that normally wouldn't be able to attend these high quality conferences in person.
Right. So I mean, we already knew that the world was a small place with, you know, the use of the internets. Now it's even smaller because more of the world is on it. Right? We've convinced more of them to become users. The gateway drug was Facebook. Thank you, Mark.
Oh my god.
Oh goodness.
Right? Because if we can get Nana to start, now, here we go.
Yeah.
Buddy.
There's a couple of really great conferences that are coming up. In addition to Diana, Pancakes Con 2 is coming up shortly. There's, gosh, we just had GrimCon this past week, and so many of them. These are all featuring not noobs. I mean, these are folks that have been in InfoSec for years, and this is their career, and this is what they do every day. So it's just mind-blowing the amount of information that's shared and so generously in this community.
Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but so have y'all started to look at, you know, other than the virtual conferences, because I am really looking forward to the Diana Initiative virtual conference. I'm excited and also going to be donating. So there you go. But and I think actually my CEO went ahead and donated because we had a call with like the head of the Diana Initiative, which was got you. Bye, Alexis. Oh, it's 2:00. Oh, we've hit our limit.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay on for just a second and wrap up. But yeah, you guys got to go. I know. So we had a call with her, and she was fabulous. And I was very excited to meet her. But so I'm looking forward to that conference. But one of the first ones live that I'm excited to go to is actually GERCON. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of GERCON, but it's got a special place in my heart. I'm super excited. I've like so far, I keep checking the page like weekly just to make sure that they're still gonna do it. And so far they haven't announced that it's gonna go virtual only. So I'm gonna go see people, and I might not hug you, but I'll give you an air high five. Right? Because I don't think I can get over the habits of COVID. So are you guys are there any conferences that you're looking forward to actually attending live once again?
B-Sides Orlando was my very first Infosec conference that I ever attended, and it was fantastic. And I love that it's kind of come full circle, and now I'm on the board. Excuse me, on the board there. And our plans this year are not looking likely that we will be in person, but I look forward to that happening again. But what else was I going to say? There was another conference that it fell out of my brain.
That's okay.
It's been that sort of week.
That's okay. I do that all the time. But GERCON was my very first conference that I had just a stellar experience at. So it's always going to have that special place in my heart. But that's so, that happens. And that's another reason why it's important right now just to be able to do to get a little savvy about marketing in general, especially marketing yourself, just because, that way you can get into those circles that you feel that feeling, that feeling when you're like, these are my people. And like
walking into B-Sides, that's what it was like. These are my people. I found my nerds. And it's like later that year, I went on to just volunteer at, B-Sides Las Vegas. Why not? Let's do it. And from there, now I just volunteer all the time. The time. Love it. Yeah. So much fun. It's a fast it's a fast track to networking. It really is. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're going to find all kinds of support groups and friends and this huge group of people that, have struggled just like you. And then, specifically for this table and empowering women in tech and in STEM, there are a lot of us. We're here. Come find. It's
for sure.
It's super great. So, Alicia, did you have any closing remarks?
No, I don't have any conferences in mind to go in person, but I'd say anything. Send me somewhere. I'm in. Yeah.
Tabatha, you're in Florida, right? Is that where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
Like Orlando area?
I'm on the coast near Daytona.
Oh, dang.
The world's most famous beach, according to the sign that they have there.
So the first place that we're headed on the grand let me out of my COVID cage strategy, the husband and I are going to Orlando in May.
Nice.
I'm so excited. I gotta go see all the people. I'm so excited. But we're doing Disney. So
love Disney. I'm a huge Disney nerd. Yes. Huge Disney nerd. Love it so much.
I may wave as we drive by and be like, but I'm so excited. I can't wait. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all, if y'all wanted to say a few words or anything. I know Alicia, you've got your TechGirlz link. Let me pull it up and share with everybody so they can come find out what that's all about if they have more questions. And I shared out the Diana Initiative links. Thank you for sharing those with us, Tabatha. And
sure thing. Round 1 ends soon. So if you're interested in participating, this is your first time giving a talk, this is a great way to get in there and get mentored by awesome people like Ian. And if you're interested in helping out mentoring people, please also let us know. There's a form for that too on the website. And yeah, tickets are on sale now. Come join us.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't you guys have some opportunities for any vendors too that may want to be sponsoring?
Yes, I should probably do that. Also accepting sponsors right now. Donations, we'll just take a check too. Like, call it done. Just give us money, so we can keep running this fantastic organization, this fantastic conference that's really been just tremendously fulfilling as a volunteer, and also to receive this huge amount of knowledge downloaded into my brain from these wonderful people.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing this every month, all the time, because I love these women. You guys are my favorites so much. Make sure to follow the SecureNation page for event updates. I'm usually a tardy party, and it's the week of that you'll notice. But it's about the end of the month, okay? Just to figure it's going to be on a Friday afternoon, kind of the end of the month. I'll try to get better at that, all right? Me, but aren't we all?
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
man. Thank you for letting me torture you for an hour and 6 minutes. You're the best. We'll see y'all later.